I feel good about how my body feels. I had a good week or a good day of practice, so I feel good about the week.
Hi, Zach, about this, and I want to ask you the same. Do you feel like a win this week, getting back to 500, is a chance for y'all to really build momentum that can carry on the rest of the season, given how you started?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about this every week from here on out now because of how we started, but every week is so critical at this point. Yeah, we got to get another win.
Do you kind of just disregard the record to a degree? I mean, obviously the record matters, but it's more about how you're playing and how the team's progressing. Is that the biggest deal?
Yeah, you just have to treat it week by week. You just got to go 1-0 in the week. Our record is what it is. We're 3-4. We're still in it.
Is there anything that getting to 500 does for y'all mentally? Does that make a difference aside from, just it's a number, but does that do anything for y'all mentally to get to that point?
Yeah, you want to have a winning record. And this is the next step towards that goal. So, got to go 1-0 this week to get to 4-4.
Given what the Eagles have on their side of the ball on offense, they're explosive, one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. How much emphasis do you guys have as an offense about playing better than you have the last 2 weeks in terms of scoring and just overall operation?
Yeah, we got to play great this week. We know what they have. We know they have really good players. They're going to make plays on offense and defense. So we got to play great on both sides of the ball.
What stands out about their defense when you watch them?
They got good players. They play within the scheme. They're well coached. We've played against this style of defense before. It's always tough. They got a good pass rush. They're gonna pressure you. So you got to handle it well. You got to get the ball out quickly, and you got to push the ball down the field when you find your opportunities.
You've played against Fangio a few times now, different stops. I mean, is his scheme pretty much the same, but does he adapt the players he has, or what's it look like to you?
He adapts year to year. A little more too high than he used to call. I would say he mixes it up a little more than he used to. Keeps you on your toes, sends a pressure here and there. So you got to be ready for a lot of different things. They mix it up front wise, personnel wise, quarters, single high, cloud. So they do a good job disguising everything, making everything look the same.
Over the years, you've really, in like key moments, you've leaned on T and in really critical spots, even going back in the Super Bowl run. What's it about T that makes him a guy that you can kind of turn to when you maybe need to throw more so than other throws?
I mean, T's just a great player. And I'm lucky enough to play with enough great players on our offense that I can throw the ball where the defense tells me to throw it, not having to think about other things. I'm confident in any of our guys to just go and win. And T's been playing great. He's going to continue to play great. He's going to continue to make contested plays, win his one-on-ones, and make plays down the field. So I'm going to continue to go to him.
How much do you allow yourself, or do you even think about that this could be the last year that you have both T and Jamar to throw to? I mean, have you thought about that at all as you went through the season?
No, not since the season started.
Did you think about that at all before the season started?
You have a lot to think about in the off seasons. Yeah, you think about your own career, a lot of different things, how things can play out. That's life. Once you're in the season, there's almost no other thinking going on other than what's my job today and try to get better.
Do you keep up with the quarterback class of 2020? Do you have any kind of relationship with Jalen?
Not really. We were at the Heisman ceremony together. We played against each other in college. Last time I saw him was when we played him there in 2020. I don't really I wouldn't say I have a relationship with Jalen.
How important has Zach Moss been in pass protection, and how much do you trust him? As much as you guys move him around and behind the center, picking up guys on the outside.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's really filled that role that we needed expertly. He's getting the feel for where he needs to be in his checkdowns, the timing of when he's going to get the ball in those checkdowns. He's really been playing well.
What do you remember from that game, 2020?
We tied. It wasn't very fun.
I was thinking about this, are you kind of upset that Fletcher Cox isn't playing anymore?
I can't say that, no. He's a great player, always was, always disruptive, so I'm glad he's retired.
But was there a part of you that maybe wanted to kind of maybe get back after the hit in 20?
No.
With John in 20?
No, I hope he's still sitting on his couch enjoying a nice steak dinner or something. Stay off the field.
Was that game the most you've been hit and the hardest you've been
That's tough to say. It was so long ago now. I remember getting hit a lot, but I remember getting hit a lot of times. So that's football.
Does it feel like 4 years ago? Does it feel longer than that?
Yes and no. You know, it feels like a long time ago, and then it also feels like yesterday. I guess that's how life is when you get a little older.
You guys, 0-3 at home. I know each game tells a different story as to why the outcome is what it is, but is there any theme that you can point to that you guys need to correct at home to start winning some games here?
No, I wouldn't. You know, like you said, each game is its own thing. I don't think that there hasn't really been a consistent theme game to game this year of things that we haven't done well or we have. Each game is its own thing, and you go and correct based on that.
Joe, what can you say about how this team has responded after an 0-3 start?
We've got 2 in a row. We've won 3 or 4, so we put ourselves back into it. That's all you can say right now. There's still a lot of football to be played. Only 7 games in. We got 10 games left. Not even halfway through it yet, so the story's still being written.
Even though in some ways, in the first few weeks of the season, you started with 3, but you were able to do some good things, specifically on offense, but the outcome of games, like coming away from it, knowing that you won, like that in itself, does that provide confidence for you guys more so than just feeling like you did some things well?
Yeah, of course. Your goal is to win the game. Doesn't matter. And nothing else matters. You know, you can throw for 500 and lose, and you're gonna be pissed off afterwards. You know, my goal is to win games. That's what we've done the last 2 weeks. We gotta keep it going.
Is not caring what it looks like or how you play part of maturing as a professional, or has that always been you, no matter what level?
You always want to win. You know, I'd say early in my career, you know, early in your career, you want to go out and play well. You want to help the team win. You want to do everything that you can to help the team win, and that's often enough. But then very quickly you realize that you just want to win games. Doesn't really matter what your stats are, what people think of you. You just want to win games.
Is there any extra feeling of excitement or anything when you walk in the locker room and the white helmets are hanging up?
No.
Do you take, you've gotten paid, Jalen's gotten paid, Tua's gotten paid, Justin's gotten paid, like all the big quarterbacks in the class have gotten big second years. Do you take a lot of pride in the fact that y'all as a class have done really well? Like, is there any part of you that, like, you feel any certain type of way about that?
I haven't really thought about it. I think, you know, we're each our own player. I'm happy for all the guys, and that they played well enough to get their contracts, but I can't say I've really thought about that.
Well, now we're kind of talking about it. Have you kept up with the Tua situation at all? Is that your
No, not really. I know he got hurt a couple weeks ago, had another concussion, so I've, you know, I was obviously thought about him in the moment, but I haven't thought about it in a while.
For guys that maybe, I mean, obviously none of us are going to be quarterbacks, so, you know, how do you gauge when you're at that level you're at, you're in the position you're at, gauging what you can do to help your team versus personal safety? When you've had those situations in the past, how have you kind of managed, you know, handling all of that as you figure out what's best for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go out and play. If I can drop and throw, I'm not entirely. I'm not sure that decision is my decision. If I can drop and throw, I'm going to go out and play, and then I think it's up to the decision makers whether my limitations when I'm hurt the team enough that I need to be sat down. So I always take that mindset. If I can go out there and complete balls, hand the ball off, drop, throw, then I'm going to go out there.
Philadelphia's defense in the last 3 weeks has played really well. I mean, at a ridiculously high level. Is there anything you can point your finger to where they've done something differently, or what do you think?
They're getting really good pressure on the quarterback. You know, their secondary is playing aggressive. They've done a good job. It'll be a challenge for us, but you know, we faced challenging defenses before.
Are you more or less inclined to take off and run when you feel pressure than you did earlier in your career?
I probably move around less, probably more confident in my ability to make a lot of different throws from a lot of different platforms within the pocket. Pick and choose my spots where I extend and I run, because that's something that I'm really good at. But just try to pick my spots where I can and can't.
Joe, you've always downplayed the uniforms, whatever you're wearing. For you personally, why?
It just doesn't matter to me. Like I'd wear this out there, whatever. Like it looks cool, it does, but I'd play in just about anything. I'm just happy to be out there.
After the Giants game, you talked about how you felt a little bit sped up. How did you feel like you played against Cleveland's pass rush, knowing that you're going to face another really good one this week?
Yeah, I was happy with how I played on Sunday. I felt like for the most part I was pretty accurate and made quick decisions and didn't let the rush get back there. And I think our offensive line played well. Could have run the ball better, and we could have taken advantage of some different opportunities that we didn't. Could have made some more plays down the field, but there's always room to improve. But I don't think I let the rush get to me.
The age of analytics is also stats for everything, IPA, UPA. Is there a stat that you look at? Is there a stat that interests you that you look at for yourself?
Completion percentage, I would say, is the biggest, for the most part, indicator of how you're playing. If you can just find completions, get the ball in your guys' hands, then you're going to give them more opportunities to go make plays after the ball, go score touchdowns, get the ball in your playmakers' hands. It's not always going to be the coverage that you expect versus the concept that you call it for. It's, can you still get a positive gain in those looks? Some of the best plays turn out to be 2 or 3, 4 yard gains, but maybe you got pressure and you had to slide in the pocket, you get hit, but you find the back. Just trying to keep the ball in your guys' hands, give them more opportunities to go make plays.
Do any of these new analytic categories?
I would have to understand what goes into the formula to really understand whether I care about it or not. There's a lot of ones that people use that I don't know what is weighted within the formula higher than others, so I can't really make a decision on whether I care about that or not, because maybe yards per attempt is weighted too highly, maybe touchdowns are weighted too highly, maybe completion percentages, maybe they're taking into account things that they think matter that you don't really think about as a quarterback because it doesn't really translate to winning games. So I'd have to do a deep dive on the formulas and the weighted values of these analytics to really understand them, and I can't say that I've had time to do that.
Is there one in particular, like QBR, or is there is that one that an example of that, or just out of curiosity, which comes to mind? You're I just don't know what goes into that one.
Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, QBR. I know passer rating is weighted heavily towards touchdowns. Touchdowns don't really necessarily mean you're playing great. You could throw a dime and get tackled at the 1 and then you run it in. I think yards per attempt is also weighted pretty highly in that, and that's pretty dependent on how you play offense. EPA, I don't know what that is. I've never seen the formula for that. Those are the 3 that I like, advanced analytics, that I know. I don't know the other ones.
I think you've said in the past that you judge good practices by how few times the ball hits the ground. How have you done this year, and the team done this year in that regard? How would you assess that?
Yeah, I think that more rings true later in the week when you start to dial in you've talked about the routes, you've talked about the concepts against each individual look, and then you rep it at the end, and then you're on the same page. Early in the week, it can be you can be not on the same page, and some balls hit the ground, and you come back and talk about it, and hey, I want you to run this route a little differently, get a little wider in your release, or change your split. And so Friday practice and late in the Thursday third down practice are critical in that. Wednesday's more so. You still think about it, but not quite as much. Thanks, guys.